Common Core. The New York Times reports the work to merge the three elements has already begun and is expected to be complete by the end of 2019 or early next year. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at myBraveBotanicals.com. And Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% on your purchase by using promo code SNLS. This is the Liberty Beat for the week ending January 25th, 2019. Find us online at snls.news. Your news now continues. Bayer AG unit Monsanto has asked a California judge in the litigation over its glyphosate-based weed killer, Roundup, allegedly causing cancer, to limit evidence by splitting an upcoming trial into two phases, a request previously successful with another judge. Reuters reports that Monsanto, in a previously unreported filing on January 15th, asked California Superior Court Judge Winifred Smith in Oakland to split a March trial by a California couple into two phases. Such a step would limit evidence the plaintiffs in the litigation consider crucial to their cases and described as critical to a jury last year, awarding $289 million in a similar case. Under the company's proposal, lawyers for Alva and Alberta Piliad in the initial trial phase would be barred from introducing evidence that the company allegedly attempted to influence regulators and manipulate public opinion. A hearing on the issue is scheduled for February 8th. A Southern California company is leading the way with a new innovation that makes getting marijuana and CBD products faster and more convenient. Fox 10 in Los Angeles reports that the world's first intelligent cannabis and CBD kiosk, known as Greenbox, is located at Herba Collective and Marina Caregivers dispensaries in Los Angeles. It caters to both recreational and medicinal users. Zach Johnson, CEO of Greenbox Robotics, says he came up with the idea while waiting in a long line at Herba Collective. He and his team spent more than a year developing the fully automated technology. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's easy. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat, online at snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for the week ending January 25th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Gourmet chef Ted Allen is here. He's the author of the new cookbook, Pretentious Foodie Bullshit, and he's going to show us how to cook some fussy little foodie dishes for you and all your asshole friends. Welcome back to the show, Ted. What sort of stupid, over-elaborate, fancy-ass meal are you going to make for us today?
We're going to cook one of the very most pretentious dishes in my cookbook.
Oh.
It's a stupid, trendy piece of fish coated in some kind of nut you've never heard of, served alongside a puree of baby something or other.
Oh, great!
Sounds annoying.
Let's get started.
Okay, have at it.
First, it's very important to choose the most expensive type of fish you can find for some vague environmental reason that you can then parrot back to your faux intellectual gay-wad dinner party guests.
Okay.
And now I assume all these other ingredients are organic and locally sourced and all that bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what about the pureed baby turnips, Ted?
You must blanch them for 30 seconds, then you shock them in an ice bath. Peel them, then boil them again with a little sugar, thyme, and a pinch of salt.
This is the Onion News Network. The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our Bit Plus Network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
This song takes me back to the movie Clue. You ever seen that movie?
Actually, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Clue the movie. It's from the 1980s. Got an all-star comedy cast, and it was hilarious. Great film, and it was interesting because they actually filmed it with 3 different endings. And at the time, as I understand it, now I didn't see it in theaters. I was probably too young, but at the time they sent out different copies of the movie to different theaters. So whatever theater you saw the film at,
you got a different ending.
You might have seen a different ending. So you want to talk about basically like a troll job on your audience, right? Like somebody goes to see the film, then they go and talk about it with their family that lives somewhere else or whatever, and they didn't see the same movie.
They saw a different movie. They saw a different ending.
The killer was a different character.
Oh, especially when you said it was back in the 80s. They didn't really have the internet back then, and you had to pay for long distance calls. Do you remember that?
God, yeah, that's right.
You had to pay per minute to call somebody 2 towns away.
Yep. Well, I think you still do if you use the old phone system. Like if you don't use
in some states you do.
Your cell phone. This is the Call to Freedom, and it's not the usual crew here today. We got the fill-in crew that just happened to be sitting around.
It's just 3 random people that happen to be in the studio because Will is not here yet.
Yeah, he had some sort of issue, had to turn around, go back home, and he said he was running late, so I presume he didn't say, give me a refeed. He just said he was running late, so I figure, all right, well, we're all here. We'll just start the show.
This is why you should always let people loiter in your audio studio.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is the Shire Free Church production studios, and the show names are different, but the hosts all crisscross and cross over from one to the next.
We all know each other, and we hang out from time to time. So it's nice to have somebody that can just drop in and fill in for you when you're running late or having trouble with ice in your driveway or whatever it is.
So it's been a big week here in Keene, New Hampshire, which is where we're broadcasting from. We had a couple of newbies move to town last week, and we had the pleasure of getting to meet them. I think it was yesterday. Actually.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
The Bitcoin meetup that we had, and they're both cryptocurrency fans. It seems like one of the couple very excited to move to a place where they could actually spend crypto.
Yeah,
which apparently had never happened to them before yesterday.
It's never happened to most people.
In real life, I mean, with the exception of, I'm sure they bought things online.
We all have.
Because that's easy enough to do. But to actually be able to buy your beer at or your lunch with cryptocurrency at a bar, which is where we were yesterday, the local Thirsty Owl, as it is called, was a real experience for them. So I thought that was really cool.
It is really nice to be able to use cryptocurrency right here in the real world where it actually makes a difference. People can see it. People can get used to it, know that something different is going on and that something new is coming, and just kind of it becomes a little part of the zeitgeist, if you will.
I think it really does, and I think you're right. It's a little part of it right now, but it has the potential to get bigger. There are some downsides. It's whenever you've got a new thing, a new movement, there's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs. I recently, within the last 24 hours, got a little bit of bad news. So the good news is we got a couple newbies moving into town. They're into crypto. That's awesome. The bad news is we may be losing one of our crypto accepting businesses in town.
Uh-oh, who's having trouble?
I don't want to say, publicly since, we're on the radio because it's not, I said maybe.
It's not official yet.
It seems like it's going to happen. I'm doing my best to talk this person down from wanting to quit. I did ask why, can you give me any feedback? What was the reason? And the person who's the business owner in this case said that it was maybe 0.01% of their business and just wasn't worth the hassle that they've been having to deal with. They talked about it, and they decided it just wasn't worth the hassle. And this is a business at which, and again, describing it may reveal to you who it is, but no reason to say who it is. So they hadn't had their AnyPay set up properly, and they were accepting payments into a Koinomi wallet, which is not an easy system to use.
Right, it's not.
Koinomi was not designed. It's a fine wallet. If you want to download a wallet, it's a great multi-crypto wallet. Koinomi's my second favorite. I think Edge Wallet's my current favorite, but Koinomi's an awesome wallet. I've got it. I use it. It's not a point-of-sale wallet.
Right. It's not. It's a great wallet. It's not a point-of-sale system. What you want for point-of-sale is a point-of-sale system, and
correct.
AnyPay does that very well.
And it does. And unfortunately, at this particular business in question, AnyPay has been not working, and it hasn't been working for a few months. And it's not AnyPay's fault. It's the fault of the individual who, and the person didn't know this was a problem when they did it. But when they started this business with AnyPay, they put a URL in that ended up becoming deprecated. So it wasn't the proper URL, and so when that got deprecated, it stopped working. And so in order to get them back up and running, I took the time to take their tablet at the register, and I installed the new proper URL, which is pos.anypay.global.
Right.
I put that on the tablet, showed the bartender at the time, and he's not the owner. So he couldn't log in to AnyPay because there's a username and password you got to have to log in. The owner is just too busy, as owners tend to be. Yeah. If you run a local small business, you're hustling. If your business is doing well, and
they are doing pretty well.
I mean, every time we're in there, they're very busy, and so this owner is just always hustling around. He's busy. He's talking to people. He's working in the back or whatever. And I just couldn't get his attention for 2 minutes. I mean, all I would have needed to do was pull him over here. Hey, look, come on over. Just need you to username and password. Just need you to log in, and it's gonna be good to go. It's gonna be easy to use. I don't think he really realized what AnyPay really was. I don't know what level of training he'd had because I wasn't the one who set him up. So I'm kind of coming in blind. I'm not really sure. Either way, he just couldn't spend 2 minutes to come over and do that. And so when I contacted him, I'd called them yesterday because we were going to have a meet up there. And I said, hey, wanted to just come in early and get this thing set up. If your owner's going to be there, the owner was there. But he was too busy to talk to me on the phone. And then later, after I sent a follow-up email, because he said, well, why don't you send him an email? So I sent him an email. And, said, hey, look, I would like to schedule a time with you. Just need 5 minutes, to get this thing done. We'll get it taken care of, and you'll be good to go to accept crypto at your point of sale. And that's when he wrote back saying he was, probably not going to continue, or that they decided to not continue. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it really sucks
for a lack of 2 minutes. And it's not like, as I recall, we were there about 6 weeks ago, and the same trouble there. He was actually, as I recall, he was actually on site, but you couldn't get his attention for 2 minutes.
I had his attention briefly, but I had to, at that point, had not yet installed. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin, but imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveAtPurse.com.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
Marriage should be handled either by religious institutions or the couple's friends. If everybody wants to say that two individuals are married and they live as a married couple, they don't need any piece of paper from anybody. And I'll even go one step further. If 17 people decide that they want to be in one big giant marriage, I don't care. As long as they're all consenting to it, it doesn't harm anybody. It should not be illegal. There shouldn't be laws prohibiting that. So, Rand Paul to say that, oh, well, if we allow gay marriage, we have to allow polygamy. What is the effing problem with polygamy? Historically, polygamy has always been accepted.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Yeah, it is LRN.FM, the Liberty Radio Network, and you're listening to Call to Freedom. And you can tell I'm not used to doing this show because I was completely into the conversation that you and I were having, Michael, and just was not paying attention to the time. And Will does his show where he doesn't have pre-programmed music beds like we do on Free Talk Live.
Right.
So that break just hit me like a wall because I didn't even know it was coming. There's actually a little notice that pops up on the computer here to remind you that, hey, 30 seconds left till break, but that wasn't even in my field of vision, so I had no idea.
Yeah, and I have one behind you that I can see, but your head was in the way.
Yep.
So
anyway, what are you going to do? So we were talking about kind of the cryptocurrency scene here in Keene. I realized that the crypto hour here on this show is the 5 o'clock hour. But you know what?
Every hour is the crypto hour.
We can talk about cryptocurrency whenever we damn well please. And further, I don't get it. Even though I'm on now Free Talk Live 7 nights a week, I still have a bunch of stories that, we've never had a chance to talk about. And so I've got some cryptocurrency related stuff that I just don't know if it's ever going to make it on. But this recent news here in Keene that we've got 2 new movers to town, one of whom is a programmer for cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, big crypto program. He said he's worked on like
Zcash,
a whole bunch of different coins.
Yeah. So that's cool. He's really jazzed because now he can actually pay rent in cryptocurrency. He can buy things in real life with cryptocurrency. But the bad news that I was giving is that we're likely, unless I can talk this business owner down from this cliff, and it sounds like he's already jumped, so I'm just trying desperately to say, hey, are you sure there's nothing I can do to keep you on board? I don't want to have to tell the local crypto users the bad news. I mean, that's never any fun.
Yeah, it's never any fun. Well, the thing that occurred to me is that we moved our meetup at the last minute because of this.
Yeah, well, and the reason why, I mean, we don't have to go to places that just accept crypto because there aren't that many of them. We can go to other places,
right?
But knowing that we had 2 brand new people showing up, I would rather be at a place that takes crypto to show that off.
Yeah, you want to show that off to new people.
So yeah, because they said, well, at the time, all they said was that they couldn't accept it right now. Like it was as though there was some problem with their point of sale system,
technical problem. Okay, yeah, we can sort that out.
But then later, the boss man, in an email to me, basically said that they were done taking crypto. It just wasn't worth it. Too much hassle. And I agree. It wasn't set up right. There was a sort of a comedy of errors that went wrong here. The initial guy who went in to get it set up used a URL that probably wasn't the best URL to use. Then AnyPay stopped that URL from working, which was a problem as well. They probably shouldn't have done that, but I don't think they knew. So it was one of those things where the right hand didn't talk to the left hand, and it all could have gotten ironed out if at some point over the last 2 months, this business owner had spent 5 minutes max, with me. It probably would have been, 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Putting in his username and password so we could have AnyPay back up and running. So I don't know how that's all going to, pan out, because I said to the guy, hey, look, there's money on the table here. I realize it's not a big portion of your sales. He had said it was, less than 0.01%. Which that's not much.
That's not much, no.
But on the other hand, he could be benefiting from Dashback, and you're familiar with
Dashback.
Right? So that's what, 10% right now?
Yeah, 10%. The buyer gets 10% back, and I also found out that the merchant gets 10%.
That's correct. So so Dashback is like a rebate to the buyer instantly, meaning if you spend the Dash cryptocurrency with AnyPay in a real life store. This won't work if you just go and sign up for AnyPay. You're not just going to get to milk 10% out of it.
Right.
You got to be like a real store that's actually using the AnyPay system. And by the way, you can go to AnyPay's website at anypay.global to get started over there. But at a real life store, the customer will get 10% back, usually within seconds of actually spending.
Yeah, I've always gotten it within a few seconds.
Worst case, there might be a temporary outage or something like that, but it seems to work 99.9% of the time these days. And at the same time that you're getting that rebate as the buyer, the business owner is getting an extra ding in their wallet of an extra 10%. And it's all subsidized basically by the Dash Masternode system. They voted for AnyPay to have this subsidy to encourage people to use their cryptocurrency. So I told him about Dashback. I said, look, you've got this money's on the table. I mean, you could keep accepting crypto, and if we turn AnyPay back on, you'll get Dash back. The reason you haven't gotten it so far is because AnyPay hasn't been working for months.
Well, the other thing with that is that you've got this small but growing and very, very loyal customer base.
Right, which is why I said I don't want to have to tell these guys the bad news, because essentially he would be alienating those customers. But I don't blame somebody who's frustrated by a technological system.
Yeah,
that seems unwieldy.
Let's and if we've got a problem, let's just take a minute or 2 or 5 and fix it. Maybe the guy's really busy, but I sort of got the impression that he didn't really want to take the 5 minutes to get it fixed.
Clearly, he doesn't want to. I mean, he spent more time talking to me on email at this point than it would take to actually log in and make this work.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, I presume. I don't know the guy, really. I've just had whatever brief conversations in the shop with him. Like I said, I wasn't the one who got him. I didn't pitch him on it. I didn't set him up on it. I'm just trying to do the customer service after the fact. So in addition, I also told him, hey, look, we're running radio ads too. We've got we've got radio ads on 5 different radio stations in town, and I wanted to do promotions of your business in those radio ads. Hasn't happened yet, but that was where I was going to go next.
Right.
With the ad campaign was promoting the local businesses that are taking crypto. So I let them know, look, there's these radio ads and there's this 10% bonus thing that's on the table. You know, is there anything I can do to get you back on board? So that's where it sits right now. You know, I don't know what's going to happen.
See what he says. Maybe he thinks he doesn't need it.
Well, he doesn't need it. He's doing fine.
He's been pretty busy. Yeah.
He's doing fine. He doesn't need it. And maybe he wasn't. Oh, the weird thing is, it's like he's taking Ethereum, which is unusual.
Yeah, that one's unusual.
Because it's not supported by AnyPay. So
how is he taking that?
Koinomi.
Koinomi, okay.
I don't know if anyone's ever paid with it, but that makes me think that he must know something about crypto. Maybe he's aware that, he's aware that Ethereum exists. He specifically wanted to take that. So again, I don't know the guy. I don't know what his level.
Very strange story. Yeah. And you weren't the one who set him up. Do we know who did?
I know who did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there's a guy who's a really good guy, great crypto activist, basically. He's the dude who helped get that car dealership set up out in Nashua or wherever it was. And I don't know what the status of that is. I think that might have actually fallen through shortly after they got set up because the person, the manager who'd authorized it, got fired shortly thereafter.
Oh, oops.
And so there was a lot of press about that, and I don't know if it's I don't know if you can still buy a car with Dash in New Hampshire.
I don't know. I do remember hearing about that, but when I find myself in the market for a new car, I'm going to call them up and ask them if they take Dash.
Yeah, that would
know.
Well, that's what's important here, right? Is if we had enough economic weight, if we were 1% of his sales, then maybe he would have gone through the effort.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of failures here, but the failure was technological. He wasn't able to get AnyPay up and running correctly, and it wasn't all his fault, but at the same time, he was offered the help that he needed, and he wasn't willing to accept it. So I don't know what else to do. More coming up. Call to Freedom.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
It is Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. By the way, they do have open phones. 603-435-1105 is the number that you can use to call in if you want to join us here. We're just kind of talking about the general state of things in the cryptocurrency world here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. In the studio here today, we got Ian.
And Michael.
And Melanie.
So... Melanie, what's going on out in Manchester? You live out that way. How's the crypto scene out there?
It's pretty much just Murphy's, I think.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
I know they used to have a pizza place that stopped taking crypto.
Yeah, Sam's Pizza? I think it was.
No.
Did it stop taking crypto or did it go out of business?
No, Pizza 911.
Oh, yeah, the Pizza 911.
They do take crypto.
They're back taking it? Because they stopped. As of like a year ago.
They were taking it about a month ago.
Really? Okay, well, that's good news. I wonder if anybody out there bothered to add them back to the coin map.
They don't advertise that they take it, though, so nobody spends it there.
So you have personally spent it there within the last month?
Somebody I know has.
Well, yeah, the last I heard that they only took it for carryout for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. But they still... if they're still taking it, then yeah, that's one thing. That's good,
because I had heard the guy who had set them up either quit or got fired, who's like a Liberty guy from New Hampshire who he was one of their managers. So I'm glad to hear they're back on board. That's good to know. So here in Keene, it's pretty good. We've got a number of places that are accepting cryptocurrency. We just got a brand new food truck here in town within the last few weeks.
Still haven't been over there.
They are very good. The food it's excellent. It's a little pricey. I wouldn't say it's particularly affordable. I would say that the barbecue food truck's a better price, but it's good food and they're into crypto, so it's all good. Looks like Will is rolling in here, so I'm just going to step away. We've just been talking about the crypto scene here, Will, so I'm going to jump out. And,
yeah, we kind of started the crypto hour an hour early, so.
I smell like a gas pump.
Oh, and I guess Aria's here too, so I'm going to let Aria take over and
how we
do
doing
a show.
today, guys? This is Will Coley, just getting in here. So, yeah, okay. I know there's the school buses, right? Oh, no. So when I was a kid, school buses used to just drop you off, right? Like you had your stop, and like I had to walk like almost a half a mile from where I was when I got off the bus to my house, right? Well, they won't even let my kid off the bus if my wife's not standing outside. And like they literally drop him at the end of the driveway. He doesn't have to cross the street or anything. He just gets off the bus, walks down the driveway, and boom, there you go, right? No. Nope. So I'm at the bank. Phone rings. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Hello, Mr. Coley. This is the school. Your son is on his way back here. Okay. So now I got to go because the kids lost my wife's phone, right? Like 3 days ago. We've turned the house upside down and can't find it anywhere. So they can't call her to tell her, hey, we're outside. And she's pulling a pizza out of the oven when they pull up. So they take him back to the school. And now I have to go there and tell her. And we get there. She goes to get him because, I mean, it's either 20 minutes getting the kids ready so that she can load them all up in the car, or she can just run there and back and it'll take 5 minutes. So I sit there and wait. She runs there and back. It takes 5 minutes. Go to get in the car. Now Aria's car won't start.
Yeah, that was my fault, though.
Yeah.
So.
Ding. Hey, Melanie, how are you?
Hey, great, you?
I'm having one of those days.
Yeah.
Oh. But you know how it goes. You had them before.
Days or school buses? I've never had to deal with school buses.
Just one of those days, you know?
Yeah.
Just the days. We were just like, 6 more hours till bedtime. 6 more hours till bedtime. So anyway, let's see. What were we going to talk about today? Oh yeah, that since they decided to do Crypto Hour an hour early, Aria, you had something about McAfee.
Yeah, so he messaged me on Facebook, right, which was weird because John McAfee has never messaged me at all. So after discussing his presidential campaign for a few minutes, he starts talking about this scam coin called, I'll have to look it up again because I need to know it anyway if I'm going to be talking about it on the air. And he was real dodgy about it. It sounded like helium, really. So I asked him, I was like, okay, but does this actually increase one's crypto holdings, or does it just increase, you know, what they have relative to the USD? So they may actually gain like $10, but they don't actually gain any crypto. No answer. Well, he did answer, but it was a politician's answer. It was a salesman's answer.
Well, he responded without answering.
Yeah, he did not answer the question. So I asked again, still no answer. I said, can you please answer the question? And then he kind of sort of did, but still didn't. So I clarified it and asked him as well, you know, what's the status of KYC? And then suddenly, you cannot reply to this conversation. John McAfee had blocked me. So he is out there shilling for this company that has paid him to do it directly via messaging on Facebook. And if you ask him questions about it, legitimate questions, he will block you. So
Yay.
McAfee, any chance that I was going to support you in 2020 evaporated the moment I got the notification that you had blocked me for asking legitimate questions about something you're trying to sell. There were times that I suspected it was a robot.
I don't think a bot's going to block you, though. I mean, I'm sure you could program a bot to do that, but I don't know why you would.
Every time I was certain that I was dealing with the bot, I would get an answer from him, a reply containing relevancy to something I had said that made me think, okay, well, there's no way a bot is smart enough to answer that way.
Some humans fail the Turing test, so you can't always tell.
He could have been drunk or something. I don't know.
He was very likely drunk.
He was sober enough to block somebody. That's a multi-step process.
But the reason I thought it was a bot, because anytime I asked him a question, his answer would, you know, it was like a school question answer. It would sort of contain the question within his answer. Like when I said, you know, how are you enjoying the oceanic life? He would say, oh, the ocean is great, or something to that effect. And I was like, okay, well, that's not really how a human would respond. So I don't know. Either he's turned his account over to a bot, which is shady in itself, or he himself is out there doing it and is blocking people when they want to know about KYC and this crap he's trying to sell people.
And he should know that you could still get those screenshots even if you block somebody.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's useful information, I think. I mean, it's proof that not only is he shilling things that he probably shouldn't be shilling, but he's so shady about it that he will block you.
Yeah, and why? He's not like broke. It's not like he's like, I need groceries next week. I'm going to do some shady stuff. It's just like, oh, I'm going to be shady for the sake of being shady.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it like $100,000 a coin was the offer?
$125,000.
$125,000, and he'll shill your coin and get you a quick pump and dump for $125K, which is basically the profit that you'll make off of a good pump and dump for a small coin anyway.
Yeah, so there's no reason whatsoever to trust anything John McAfee says about cryptocurrency. Instead of shilling for these coins, he needs to be worried about how he's going to eat his Richard.
That's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. So anyway, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, looks like we're going to do Crypto Hour early, so we'll have some more gaming and crypto news when we get back right after this.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As
explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It's our oddly early crypto hour here on the Call to Freedom. And two things. First of all, Netflix for games. That sounds really, really cool. But I saw this other thing from GameIndustry.biz.
That already exists, though. It was called GameFly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't successful because it proved to be cheaper just to get the game and never return it.
Oh. Yeah, but this isn't one where you get anything and return anything. You just, it's on the web. No, I want to. I hate the Washington Post. Anyway, the article that I saw that I actually wanted to cover is this story. It says, this is from GameIndustry.biz. Gaming mirrors Facebook's crisis of credibility. On addiction and loot boxes, the industry's lack of transparency will prevent it from getting benefit of the doubt. This model can feel opaque. We're all distrustful of systems that we don't understand. Sometimes this means people will assume that we do things that we don't do. That's Facebook's co-founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg writing in a Wall Street Journal opinion piece Friday to mark the 15th anniversary of the social network. It's the editorial's most substantial defense against criticisms of the company, and it's essentially true. When people can't see for themselves that everything is on the up and up, some will infer all sorts of shenanigans going on behind the curtain, even when there's nothing underhanded going on at all. That said, Zuckerberg is asking for the benefit of the doubt in his editorial, but he has very little credibility to make such a request. His editorial reads less like an explanation of the way Facebook works and more like a PR play to tweak the press narrative surrounding the company. For the unfamiliar, Facebook has come under fire for privacy issues after a data breach allowed consulting firm Cambridge Analytica, which works for Donald Trump's presidential campaign and a pro-Brexit Leave.eu organization, to access the personal data of 70 million Facebook users. As if the breach itself weren't bad press enough, Facebook's reportedly facing a record fine from the FTC over it. And technically, that fine won't be for the breach itself so much as it will be for the company violating a 2011 settlement with the FTC over previous charges that it deceived consumers by failing to keep its promise to protect their privacy. Given the company's repeat failings, Zuckerberg is asking for the benefit of the doubt is already a stretch, but it becomes bold to the point of laughable coming at the same time. The Center for Investigative Reporting's Reveal outlet reported on the company's practices regarding fraudulent charges, in which customers who were not given any benefit of the doubt when held accountable for millions of dollars in credit card charges that they never agreed to. Friendly fraud. That's the term Facebook used to describe unauthorized charges made by kids using their parents' credit cards in an internal memo. One that explained what it is, why it's challenging, and why you shouldn't try to block it. The memo was part of 135 pages of unsealed documents in a class action lawsuit against the company that shows the company refused to deter friendly fraud because it would hurt revenue.
Well, how do you deter if I sign into my credit card and then hand you my device? First of all, that's probably a user agreement violation. How are they supposed to distinguish what was me and what was you?
Microsoft and Amazon both do this because they know that kids have access to electronic devices, particularly video game systems, stuff like that. So what they do is they send you an email or an alert of some sort every time there's a purchase made on your account. So if my kids order, and this has happened, if my kids are playing Minecraft in their rooms and one of them decides, check it out, yo, there's a Chinese expansion. Oh, a zombies expansion pack. Oh, that's so cool. I want that. They just hit the green button twice, and my card's getting charged $1.95 to $14.95 for that expansion pack. I'm going to get an email. Now, when I get that email, there's a little phone number in the email. And I call that phone number, and I say, hey, yeah, I was at work. My kids did this, evidently. And they take the expansion pack back, delete it, and don't charge your card. And that's it. And Facebook is like, no, we're keeping the money. And don't let your kid touch anything electronic if you don't want to have to pay for stuff that they order on your phone. So that's what they do. That's
yeah,
what
I still
that's what
can't see
Microsoft,
just like handing somebody else my phone. Like,
it's not just your phone though. Facebook is the computer. The family computer is also Facebook. So they go to Facebook and they decide to play
but on
Mafia.
computer you can just not click the button to save your card information.
They also don't, or like 13-year-olds using mom's card to buy expansion packs on Mafia Wars or something. You could call Microsoft or you could call Amazon and get those charges removed and get whatever's going on stopped. If they've ordered movies, they just take the movie back. You don't have access to it now. Like the video game things, you just don't have access to it.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm gonna be against Facebook for. This is not what I mean. Just don't save your credit card information on a shared device. This is kind of like basic common sense.
Yeah.
Our information is our Microsoft account information. So everything that we do, because like we have Microsoft Gold, which is something that you have to pay for once a year. So all that stuff is all hooked up. If we decide to order a game, any of that, it's all like hooked up through PayPal or something, I think.
Well, I mean, sort of. Like
What is on
my
mine?
Xbox account. Yeah, well, because it's not set up properly. I mean, realistically. Mine requires a password to sign into my Xbox account because it has my credit card information saved, and I don't want my nephew buying stuff. So I mean, it's certainly possible, and he still had access to the Xbox Live features and all of that because of the family sharing system that they have in place, but he couldn't make purchases.
So how can he access my games that are on the Xbox on my account? Because he can't get to them on his account without him being able to use my card. Because my wife put like finally put a password on the thing, so like they couldn't make any purchases because they did it like 3 times. But like I said, we just called Microsoft and we're like, hey, the kids did this, and they were like, okay.
Okay, so if Microsoft is making it so that you can't sign into the system itself without having access to the credit card information, then I'm going to say that's on Microsoft. But if I am in some kind of purchase system and I share my credit card info on a shared account, and yes, your 13-year-old qualifies as a shared account or a shared device. If you give them your device, then that's on you. That's not on Facebook or whoever.
Well, the problem for us is on the 360 is him being able to access the downloaded games, because we don't want them playing games on disc because, well, they're little kids and they're discs, no brainer. But the only way they can get access to those games is for them to be signed into our account, which is hooked up through the Xbox Gold Live. So either there's some way that Aria knows how to make it work to where he can access those games and not have to be on my thing. Because like you can't even go to YouTube.
Well, ours was set up that way from the start. So I don't know if it can be configured that way retroactively.
Yeah, so if you can't get around that, then that's a problem, because I mean, you don't have.
I'm guessing that's why Xbox doesn't care. You know, you just call them and go, "Hey, my kids did this,"
Which
and
is
they go,
still silly
"Oh,
on their
it's no
part
big
because it's like,
deal."
okay, so my kid can buy a game at 8 a.m. I go to work. At 4 a.m., I'm like, oh, Microsoft, my kid bought this $50 game. Take it off. They still had it all day. Like,
usually what these kids are getting is like $4 upgrades, you know?
Yeah, Fortnite packages.
Yeah, stuff.
Crap
Well,
like
not even
that.
Fortnite pack, but yeah, that's the kind of stuff other people's kids do. But my kids, it's like, I want purple boxes and zombies, you know, on Minecraft, because that's all they ever want to do is play Minecraft. Like, mind-numbing. It looks, yeah.
Yeah, so if the credit card information is attached to the game, then that's a problem. But nothing about Facebook attaches your credit card information to your internet browser.
Well, actually, I think your account is what it is on Facebook.
Yeah, but then just sign out of your account if you're on a shared
device. You can add
device.
your credit card, I believe, to your account, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom, we're going to be talking about AOC, everybody's favorite. And are we abolishing ICE? Or are we just trying to rebrand it? We'll get into that when we get back.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Monday, January 28th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,299. Silver opened at $15.65. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,424. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online, innoscale.net. In the news, the White House has not ruled out military intervention in Venezuela and has issued a strong warning to the country's president, saying that any violence against American diplomats or National Assembly President Juan Guaido would lead to significant response from the United States government. The warning was issued to President Nicolas Maduro on Sunday. Activist Post reports the warning follows a recent revelation that President Donald Trump has inquired about using military force against the country, saying that while the indications are that the immediate U.S. efforts on trying to impose regime change in Venezuela will be mostly economic, The publication cites a recent interview given to Axios by Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. In that interview, Graham, known for his hawkish views on U.S. military intervention, said President Trump is really hawkish on Venezuela and advised the president that such an attack could be problematic. The right-wing opposition leader that the United States is trying to undemocratically install as Venezuela's president immediately set his sights on the country's state-owned oil company, which he's hoping to restructure and move toward privatization. He's also seeking money from the notorious International Monetary Fund to fund his unelected government. The Free Thought Project reports that on January 23rd, U.S. President Donald Trump recognized the little-known U.S.-educated opposition politician Juan Guaido as the supposed interim president of Venezuela. Within 48 hours, Guaido quickly tried to seize control of Venezuela's major U.S.-based oil refiner and used its revenue to help bankroll his U.S.-backed coup regime. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Monday, January 28, 2019. Find us online at snls.news. Your news now continues. As the Yellow Vest protest in France continues to perplex and concern the French government and European elites, a new counter-protest has emerged in response to the popular protest movement now entering its 12th week. Mid-Press News reports that protesters branding themselves as the Red Scarfs descended on Paris on Sunday to protest the violence of some Yellow Vest protesters. The French government, which has sought to weaken and disperse the Yellow Vest movement, said that the Red Scarfs numbered around 10,500 in Paris, while other reports claim the demonstration was significantly smaller than the government's supplied figure. As machine learning algorithms, big data methods, and artificial intelligence are increasingly used in the toolkit of U.S. law enforcement agencies, many are worrying that the existing biases of the criminal justice system are simply being automated and deepened. Activist Post reports that police departments are increasingly relying on predictive algorithms to figure out where to deploy their forces by blanketing cities with a mesh of human-based and computerized surveillance technology. That comes despite the flaw in such tools. Facial recognition software has often held a bias toward darker-skinned individuals, including mistaking members of Congress for criminal suspects. In essence, racial profiling has become automated, while allowing law enforcement agencies to claim that the computers are race-neutral tools. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details on how to raise your profile in partnership with the Liberty Beat. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting for this Monday, January 28, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
You're putting your name, address, credit card number, social security number, all that, you're just chucking it right up onto the internet where any disgusting degenerate can grab it? The only way to make sure that your identity is never stolen is to change it every 3 years. That's what I do. 2 years ago, I was Ellen Foxcroft, attorney at law. 3 years before that, I was Trish Homingwood, patient at the Austin State Psychiatric Hospital. And 3 years before that, I was Regina Dupree, lead singer of the soul group Derriere. And you know what? None of my identities has ever been stolen. So to make sure that your personal information stays safe, you gotta follow some simple steps. First, you're gonna need new pieces of identification, right? But don't worry, old Shelby knows a guy up in Detroit, can fix these up pronto, real cheap. Next, you're gonna have to fake your own death. But all that takes is a mold of your teeth, a corpse, and a $500 used car for setting on fire.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Andros has again invaded the Lilat system. General Pepper has turned to a new Star Fox team headed by Fox McCloud to save Corneria and free the Lilat system once again.
Welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon.Global studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's another beautiful day here in the Shire. I think it got up to like 20, didn't it?
I don't know. It's cold.
It is. It's pretty cold out there. I know it was like 12 when I left for for work this morning. It was windy. Good Lord. So, we love ice around here. You know that we do. We love ice so much that we took a bath in it to try to convince people to do, and nobody, no, they were like, abolish ice, abolish ice. I'm like, let's do a viral abolish ice challenge. Shh.
Yeah, it got totally ignored.
It just went to sleep. Everybody was like, rebrand ice. We should rebrand ice. So Ocasio-Cortez was one of the biggest proponents of the whole abolish ICE as a cornerstone of the campaign. And and I think it's funny that the Black Rose Foundation, who's written this article about her, didn't see this coming, because the first time Cortez was challenged about her abolish ICE statements in media, her response was, well, yeah, what we need to do is we'll get rid of the organization ICE because it's a white supremacist organization, and we'll have other parts of the government do all the stuff that ICE does, and that will make it less white supremacist.
Other parts of the government is probably already doing everything ICE does.
Well, yeah, but she's like, we're going to rebrand ICE. You know, like, we're going to break up ICE and have other parts of the government do all this horrible things that ICE does. It's like, well, then you're not abolishing ICE. I mean, you're getting rid of the organization. It just sounds like
ICE with extra steps.
Yeah. It's like, so you just broke up that chunk of ice and put it in 5 glasses. It's still the same piece of ice, you know? No, it's totally different, man. It's totally different. Well, she showed her true colors again. They're like, oh, she's the new establishment. We knew this already. We knew this during the campaign. Every time she got challenged on a justice issue, she backpedaled. Well, I heard you said that Israel is an occupation. What do you mean by that? Well, don't quote me, I'm morally right and factually incorrect, and I'm just stupid and I say things and I know what I'm talking about. But people cheer. Well,
I don't think she's stupid, and I think she has a valid point. People do, like, if she were to, my favorite example is if she were to say the U.S. is $17 trillion in debt and that's unacceptable, everybody would go, you dumb bitch, it's 18 trillion. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. And she's not dumb. Not really.
She doesn't get attacked for the things that she should get attacked for. She gets attacked for foolishness instead.
But I mean, people did the same thing to Trump. So
yeah, people don't, I mean,
that's
this
why
is a
it bothers
reality
me,
TV
because
show,
they're like,
really.
oh, they're just picking on her because she's female. And it's like, but you did the same to Trump for the last 2.5 years.
If anything, they're picking on her because she's young, but...
Well, and because she looks like a psycho wingbat.
I think it's because she's a pure ideologue, and that's why they went after Trump too. It's because Trump said all the things that the right wants to say and the left doesn't want to hear. And she says all the things that the left wants to say and the right doesn't want to hear. She pisses off the people that people on the left want to see get angry. Just like Trump pisses off the people on the right want to see. See, the people on the right don't like CNN. They don't like MSDNC. They don't like these left-wing news outlets. Why? Because they feel like their culture and their faith are maligned by these news outlets. Because they are.
Yeah. It's a valid point.
And the left and minorities don't like Fox for the exact same reason. And they're right. They're both right. The problem is that all they do is ingest their own stupid opinions on everything that they are right and aren't right about. And you just can't, they have this filter for the things that they're wrong about. And you can't break through that. And no matter how much cognitive dissonance there is, they're just never going to, it's never going to go anywhere. Because we're always going to be speaking through these filters. So she's promised to abolish ICE. She voted to fund it on her very first day in office. Now, some may find arguments presented in this commentary about AOC surprising, but this fits well within the statements that she made in a recent 60 Minutes interview that she would, quote, rather become an influential insider than stay an outside agitator. For those looking to investigate deeper into critiques of left electoralism, we recommend our...
So she's on her knees like Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Basically. That's what I heard.
See, she made quite a stir in her surprise victory in New York's 14th Congressional District last year, notable for her radical-sounding declaration that she wanted to abolish ICE and the Immigration Customs Enforcement Agency, responsible for rounding up and deporting migrants. Back in July, says the author here wrote somewhat skeptically about this slogan emanating from Ocasio-Cortez and taken up by many other Democrats. Now we can begin to judge exactly what the slogan would mean in practice. Turns out she, along with the entire Democrat Party caucus of the House of Representatives, voted to fund ICE their very first day in office. This was not a catch-all bill to reopen the federal government, which had been shut down for weeks while Trump refuses to sign a budget until he gets funding for a border wall. That was a different vote. No, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi scheduled an entirely separate vote solely on funding the Department of Homeland Security.
It's almost like she did it intentionally to give the middle finger to the left.
This is the department which oversees ICE, as well as U.S. Customs and Border Protections, and it passed with support of every single member of the Democrats in Congress, including Democratic Socialist Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib, as well as a number of other self-proclaimed ICE abolitionists.
Did Republicans vote unanimously in favor of it?
Yes, there was other. I don't see that. They don't say yes or no that here.
There have been other omission guys who wrote this article.
Right. And yes, there have been other advocates of abolishing ICE in the Democrat Party over the last few months. For a few months, it seemed like a growing wave in the party as even mainstream Democrats and likely presidential candidates Elizabeth Warren and Christine Gillibrand took up the slogan. But a funny thing happened. The Democrats, and I know this is going to come off as a shock to many, they chickened out or had no intentions of doing it to start with. A bill was even presented to Congress, but then Republican-dominated House actually scheduled a vote on their bill, at which time our would-be abolitionists announced that they would all vote against their own bill. Yes, 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 yes. Welcome to your Democrat Socialist revolution, folks. Right there. There it is. Right there. Right there. It's like Bernie buying a beach house 3 days after he dropped out of the election and endorsed Hillary Clinton. Some things really just never change. We'll be back with more.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Welcome back to the ONN Presidential Democrat Kiosk Debate. If you're just tuning in, tonight, in an historic first, Americans can ask any question at any time just by stepping into one of the thousands of Democrat kiosks we've placed in front of 7-Elevens across the country. Decatur, Illinois, let your voice be heard.
Hi, everybody. My name's Joe Crawford, and my question is, how many taco and cheese taquitos do you think I can eat in 60 seconds?
Kevin, have we screened all of these? We haven't? But we can? We can't. Great. Straight from the heart of America, raw and unfiltered, Rockville, Maryland, to Boulder, Colorado.
This is the most powerful sword in the planet.
So, we really can't screen these things, Kevin? Not at all. Okay, then I think I'll just ask a question of my own. What's that? Okay, no, I won't. Austin, Texas.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Breakfast burrito, you're a magical food, and you power me through my day. Breakfast burrito, you're eggy and cheesy, and I hope they never take you away. Breakfast burrito, always happy to see you wrapped in your tortilla, it's true. Breakfast burrito, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you. Yum, yum, breakfast burrito. Yum, yum, breakfast burrito. Yum, yum,
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We've been talking about how abolish ICE was so huge this summer, and then all of a sudden it was just not anymore. Politicians who sold themselves as anti-immigration totally flaked out. The media even noticed it way back in November. NBC noted that just before the election, quote, with just days to go before midterm elections, the abolish ICE issue has all but vanished from the radar. It turned out that what they really wanted to do was point a finger at Trump and thereby win seats in the next election, rather than fundamentally or even superficially transform the U.S. immigration system. They also found that pointing the finger at ICE was akin to attacking law enforcement, because really, what are ICE agents but cops who enforce laws against immigrants? And nobody in Democratic Party politics wants to attack the boys in blue. So the slogan was dropped, and on day one of the most diverse Congress in U.S. history, the Democrats voted to fund ICE and Border Patrol and the rest of the Department of Homeland Security. So that means spying on mosques, black bagging Muslims who get out of hand. You know, all those things that we're supposed to be mad at Trump about. Anybody who wants to point out how ICE and DHS are not the same thing, that DHS is more than just ICE, well, they're more than welcome to explain how DHS as a whole contributed so much to humanity, while the rest of us will simply wait patiently for that stupid story. It's worth noting that effective maneuvering that this was by Nancy Pelosi, who outmaneuvered her colleagues to both her right and her left, specifically setting aside a vote for funding DHS, but without any funding for a border wall that forced Republicans to vote no on DHS funding, as most of them did. It also bolstered her party's credentials as being the better managers of national security, especially with her caucus entirely voting in favor of the measure. And who would want to vote no in this situation?
Me?
You'd have to be really radical to want to do that. Better to be a team player and give the immigration and drug war machine its rightful funding, right? But we're not trying to burn the house down here. This was simply an inappropriate moment to raise abolishing ICE, right? Hardly. This was a perfect moment for radicals, if they really were radicals, to throw a monkey wrench into the entire operation and expose the policies of Pelosi and the rest of the Democrat Party. If that's what they really wanted to do, that is. But Ocasio-Cortez already announced that this wasn't what she wanted to do when she told Vanity Fair that there are certain issues where I'm going to make some Democrats mad, and if they're trying to deliver paydays for Wall Street donors, but that doesn't mean I'm going to burn the house down over it. In other words, the goal is putting pressure on the Democrats while supporting their election campaigns. Some may have been inspired or rather fooled by Ocasio-Cortez's visit to sit in at Pelosi's office demanding swift action on climate change, but even this was hardly the radical swipe at the Democrat Party leadership that it seemed. Should Leader Pelosi become the next Speaker of the House, Cortez said to the assembled protesters, we need to tell her that we've got her back in showing and pursuing the most progressive energy agenda this country's ever seen. A few days later, Ocasio-Cortez announced that she was endorsing Pelosi as the next Speaker of the House. This wasn't a protest against Pelosi. Rather, it was merely a friendly nudge, so to speak. So
I wouldn't even call it that. It was just virtue signaling to her base.
So she's the Rand Paul of Democrat socialism.
Yeah, she's the Donald Trump.
Well,
no, socialism.
No, because Rand was like, rah, 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 and then he got into office and was like,
But he still did some good things.
Well, she makes noise, just like he did. None of her bills are ever going to pass, just like none of his bills ever pass.
True.
I don't think we should give money to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that's not going to pass. That's not going anywhere. Good on you for virtue signaling to your base, though. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. She's the Rand. Poor Melanie looks so pregnant over there.
I mean, you be more or less, or...
Well, no, because you look like you're half awake, and that is the look of a pregnant woman, is half awake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you pregnant?
Yeah.
The look of a woman who's with child. I have 8. I know what a woman looks like. She looks like she wants to take a nap. That look will never go away. Just so you know, you are going to want to take a nap now for the rest of your life.
Well, I mean, it's like 18 years plus.
Yeah, but see, they wear you down. So at the end of the 18 years,
you could just go take a nap.
You need a nap. Because then you're old, then you're in your 50s, and that's when you want to take naps anyway. So.
Yep, that's why I'm staying childless.
Yeah. You and Ian
I'm just
both.
going to follow this goose where it goes.
Oi. So yeah, she's totally the Rand Paul of the Uber left. Makes lots of noise. Nothing she does is ever going to pass. And she's constantly going to virtue signal to her base while she kisses the butt of the top person that she pretended like she... Remember the Rand Paul Donald Trump thing before, right? And now he's got his nose so far up Donald Trump's backside that he knows what Trump had for dinner last week. It's like, oh, look, there's
McDonald's.
A piece. Yeah. Oh, look, there's a piece of that double quarter pounder way up there past your colon. Let me dig that out for you, Donald. Yes, good boy, Rand. Good boy. What do they call that guy? The guy that wipes the king's butt? There used to be a name for him.
I don't know that this is
idea.
an avenue we really want to explore.
The piss pots or something like that. There's a name for it in England back in the Middle Ages. It was the guy who, it was a position of honor. You wiped the king's backside for him. That's Rand, and that's what she did for Pelosi. No, you guys aren't getting the analogy.
No, I'm getting it.
I've got a topic for the past 2 weeks.
I'm trying very hard not to.
All right, so when we get back here, we're going to move on.
Please.
I don't know what we're going to say. Oh, who knows?
Doesn't matter much.
It doesn't. We are wheels off right now. Wheels off radio right now. What was it? What was the old one? Wheels off Liberty Radio. There we go. We'll be back right after this.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे। Chicken nugget, chicken nugget, nugget, chicken nugget, chicken nugget, nugget. Chicken nugget dreamland, whoa, it's a chicken nugget fantasy. Chicken nugget dreamland, whoa, if you're into nuggets, it's where you wanna be. Chicken nugget dreamland, whoa, infinite flavors of infinite sauce. Chicken nugget dreamland, whoa, you can get a million-piece box.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon.global. Oops, from the Liberty Radio studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. So, I always heard this, but now evidently it's been scientifically proven.
The chicken nugget song?
No. What I'd always heard was like when it's in every stand-up comedy act. Like you get married and you marry Cindy Crawford, and then by year 3 you're married to Mimi from the Drew Carey Show. And that when women let themselves go when they get married. Well, that's
you always want us to be cooking,
right?
How are we gonna be
but
cooking
see,
every day?
well, first of all, here's the problem with that. I've put on, since I got married to my wife, I went from a 28 to a 34 waist. So that's like 4 pant sizes that I've put on.
My wife started getting fat, and I advised her to do some sit-ups, and she started doing sit-ups. She looked great like a month later.
Oh, she didn't throw something at you?
No, we had an open and honest relationship. If I told her that she was starting to gain weight, she was going to. I didn't say it to be mean. I said it because she wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, until you start going into new clothes, you don't really necessarily notice that, unless you're like tracking like your weight and stuff every month.
Oh no! I noticed it when I was like, I can't button my jeans.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you start going into new clothes, and you're going to notice it, but you gain weight before you go up a pant size.
Well, from Maxim magazine, it has been confirmed being in a relationship is making you fat. Sorry to say, but I have bad news for every man who refuses to believe that the woman in his life is making him fat. Relationship weight gain is very real. You can stop pretending like your jeans fit comfortably.
I know.
Just go to Kmart and buy new jeans for $15.
real, yeah.
What is wrong with you?
This unfortunate but long speculated fact was confirmed by a new study conducted at the University of Queensland in Australia, which researchers analyzed 10 years worth of data from over 15,000 people and found that couples in happy relationships weighed in an average of 13 pounds more than single folks. They also had an average weight gain of 4 pounds per year. See, that's what all those late-night spaghetti parties for two and bumming around in your underwear together all weekend will do to you. But we've all been there, right? When you've been dating someone for a while, you don't really have an incentive to go to the gym anymore because, well, you already have someone who will sleep with you. And ordering takeout and downing 2 bottles of wine together while binge-watching Netflix sounds better than going out and being active. And before you know it, boom! 10 extra pounds.
And why do so many relationships fail?
In my case, 24. 24 extra pounds.
Yeah, because like if I'm single, I mean, if I wasn't pregnant and I was single, I could be like, well, I'm just going to eat this yogurt for dinner. But I can't, if I'm responsible for feeding somebody else, I'm not going to be like, well, you're eating a yogurt tonight. Get over it.
No shame in that, though. You find love, but simultaneously lose all motivations to stay fit. It's just an unspoken rule of relationships. However, if it makes you feel any better, there is some good news. The study also found that compared to singles, people in relationships tend to have healthier habits overall. They smoke less, eat less fast food, consume more fruits and vegetables. But regardless, most couples gain weight over the course of a relationship and are more likely to be overweight.
It's because they quit smoking.
Yeah, because they quit smoking. You know what? I put on two. I didn't really think about the correlation. I totally put on 2 pant sizes after I quit smoking.
Nicotine is a stimulant, so if you quit a stimulant, you're going to lose weight if you don't change anything else.
Yeah,
gain weight.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I totally put on 2 pant sizes. I just thought it was because we came up here and it was cold. You know, and I was like,
because you quit smoking.
I've actually consistently lost weight, both after I moved up here and after I met Bob, because if you're kind of like single and you're kind of older, you're like, I don't care if I die. Not even necessarily in a suicidal kind of way, but it's like, what I got to be 90 for? But if you're going to have kids, you're like, maybe I should like be healthy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I have zero intention of living past 50.
Really. Yeah, and if you don't, you can eat however 50, you want.
I have failed in life.
Yeah. You know? In case you need more proof to blame your dad bod on your wife or girlfriend, another study from the Southern Methodist.
From the South, yeah. Study about eating from the South.
From the Southern,
you will gain weight.
From the Southern Methodist University in Dallas, followed nearly 200 newlyweds for 4 years and came to the exact same conclusion: being in a relationship, a happy one specifically, will make you fat.
Because if you're not happy, you don't come home and then you just eat peanut butter crackers for lunch.
Not fat per se, but the weight gain is very real. Satisfaction is positively associated with weight gain, says head researcher Andrea Meltzer. Spouses who are more satisfied tend to gain more weight, and spouses who are less satisfied tend to gain less weight. Oh, so you mean houses that are full of fighting and stress all the time, people don't eat so they lose weight? What an idea. And houses that aren't full of stress.
Well, they probably start back smoking because of all the stress.
So, right.
Then they lose a lot of weight.
In other words,
and start eating comfort foods like McDonald's Quarter Pounders and things like that.
Right. In other words, the happier that you are with your partner, the chunkier that you're going to get. Oh, that's kind of cute when you think about it.
I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's healthy.
It's really not. It's bad for you.
Well, I mean, relationship-wise, I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah, that either.
That people grow complacent. It's like, oh, well, I don't have to take care of myself anymore. I can just, gain 40 pounds and
become sedentary.
That's kind of shady. Yeah. Like, I've known people complain about, like, well, my wife, when I married her, was 20, and now she's 40, and she weighs more. I'm like, well, duh. But, like, like so like that on that side. That
my
end of the
favorite's when you
spectrum.
look at the guy who's saying that, like, my wife, she used to weigh 110 pounds soaking wet. Yeah, you
And
look
you
like
used to
you're
last
pushing
more than 6
310.
minutes.
What are you talking about? You know, like
Yeah, and so there's that end of the spectrum, which is ridiculous, but then there's
you have like a beer keg attached to the front of you, and you're complaining that your wife put on a little weight. Dude, there's 2 more of you than there were when I knew you in high school. What are you complaining? She should be the one complaining. You know, like, oh, she put on a little weight. Bro, she went from a 6 to a 10. You went from a 28 waist to a, what the hell is that even? Like, what are you even wearing? Why are you complaining? You could eat 3 of her if you wanted to for lunch. Why are you complaining that she put on a little bit of weight? Because that's usually the guys that are making this big, huge complaint that I've seen, at least, are the ones like, your wife didn't really change that much if we want to look at your picture in high school and hers. You know, like, you look like you swallowed a minivan. She looks like she's 40 now, you know?
And if she is, then
women
like,
just
you know,
naturally gain weight
like
as
people,
they get older.
Yeah,
That's
people do get older, but like on the other end of that spectrum, it's like if you're just going to the gym and eating right so that you can get laid at the bar this week, like that's not really a great way to set yourself up for health. Because then when you achieve something, you're gonna be like,
you end up with chlamydia
I'll be
anyway.
unhealthy anyway.
You just end up with chlamydia anyway, so it doesn't help.
Well, I guess that's true if you're just gonna die something like that early.
For
like,
real, yeah, you know.
doesn't
Go to
matter.
the gym.
Well, we're all gonna die, but I don't think that's any reason to go out and get chlamydia.
Or to stop
well, screw
going
it,
to the
I'm gonna
gym.
die anyway. Might as well just get HIV.
Who cares?
No,
Oh my
let's-
God.
Let's not.
Yeah.
I could be like Nietzsche and get sick.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
I said he was working for
You
criminals.
called him a criminal, did you not?
No,
I don't
he
think
might
so.
have just been a sucker.
He said he was working for liars and thieves and criminals. Isn't that what we would call politicians?
They've been crooked since the dawn of time.
Agreed. So let me ask you, what is somebody who takes money to kill at the behest of liars and thieves? What do you call that person? Because a veteran is the one who called in and boxed us in the corner on this in the past. I don't have an answer to that question. That sounds very nice, at least. Do you?
Truthfully, no, I really don't have an answer to that question except to say he was doing his job.
Well, I mean, that's what they said at the Nuremberg trials, right? They were just following orders.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon.global studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is another day here in the Shire, and well, let's see here. Oh, you got something?
Yeah, I'd like to announce the move of our podcast from Spreaker, where it was located on, I think, FPP Radio's channel, to calltofreedomlive.podbean.com. That's Podbean, PODBEAN.com. With, of course, Call to Freedom Live in front of it.
Very cool, very cool. And you said .podbean.com. And that's, of course, posted in our Discord chat room right now.
Yeah, there are currently no episodes on it, but we'll be putting up Friday's episode here in a little while, in like 20 more minutes, I think.
Well, from hypocritical politicians to relationships making you fat to racist computers. That's right. Researchers have found that gender and racial bias is within Amazon's facial recognition software, widely used by police departments. Amazon's Rekognition, spelled with a K, had trouble discerning gender and skin tone when the individual was not a light-skinned male. Okay, that doesn't seem...
It sounds like it was discerning gender just fine.
Yeah, just only light-skinned males.
Okay, so the ones who were not males were...
Right?
Females. Seems like a pretty simple solution to this problem. But I mean, all facial recognition and hand recognition, but like those public bathrooms that have the little lights that sits you or whatever, they historically have issues with people who aren't white.
Yeah.
So, of course, Amazon has these same issues.
Well, I'm going to assume it's because they're built off the reflection of light, and white skin reflects more light.
That would be my assumption.
Well, this is from Salon, and Salon finds racism in everything. So.
Oh, they do.
Facial recognition systems are increasingly common, but a staggering amount of research suggests that many of these technologies have bias barriers to overcome before that happens. For Amazon, the hurdles could constitute as a threat to civil rights, specifically gender and racial bias. Amazon's deep learning software, called Rekognition, has emerged as a leader in the field of facial recognition. But according to a study published this week by MIT Media Lab, researchers found the technology only excelled when identifying the gender of a light-skinned male. According to the study, it had trouble discerning gender and skin tone when the individual was a woman or had a darker colored skin.
Okay, so it couldn't sense a white chick was white?
Or a chick.
Right, I got that part.
It thought it was a white dude.
I'm just curious why the gender difference would affect its ability to discern race.
I don't know.
And why is it discerning these things anyway?
I don't know. Ooh, I'm sure it will tell us.
Why does Amazon need to determine whether someone is male or female?
And can't they just do that from your order history? I mean,
well, no, it's facial recognition software. According to the study, it had trouble discerning gender and skin tone if the individual was a woman or had darker colored skin. Specifically in tests, Rekognition misidentified women for men 19% of the time.
Maybe it's the makeup.
And dark-skinned women for men 31% of the time. It made no mistakes when identifying men with light skin. Researchers compared Amazon's technology...
Like the people who programmed it.
Yeah. Researchers compared Amazon's technology to the facial recognition technologies from IBM and Microsoft and found Amazon's to be the least accurate. Last year, studies found similar problems in the facial recognition technology built by IBM, Megvii, and Microsoft. Oh, so you mean Amazon isn't racist? All facial recognition softwares have a problem differentiating gender.
Well, I saw a really interesting thing the other day. It was a meme about how the main problem with interracial relationships these days is attempting to get a picture. You either turn up the saturation too high and it makes the white dude just look like he's a freaking lighthouse, or you leave it low, in which case you can't even see the black girl. And they took several pictures with different lighting and things like that to try to convey what they were saying. And it's a valid point. The same camera settings that recognize the albino are not going to recognize the Nubian queen.
No. Because...
And it's one of those things that should go without saying, but for some reason, somebody needs to say it to Amazon and Microsoft and the others.
Yeah, and maybe this is why we don't use facial recognition for anything yet, because we haven't fixed it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joy Bulamwini, I think I got that right, co-authored both studies. She and the co-authors emphasized the need for policy and regulation to prevent abuse of the technology. Consequently, the potential for weaponization and abuse of facial analysis technologies cannot be ignored, nor the threats to privacy or breaches of civil liberties diminished, even as accuracy disparities decrease. More extensive explorations of policy, corporate practice, and ethical guidelines is thus needed to ensure vulnerable and marginalized populations are protected and not harmed as this technology evolves.
Is this issue affecting the Chinese police who are now using Google Glass to use facial recognition software on their citizens?
Not that I've heard, but I guess if there were issues, I don't believe the Chinese police would really talk about it publicly, do you?
That's true.
North Korea is best Korea. You know. Amazon spokesperson Matt Wood, a general manager of artificial intelligence at Amazon Web Services, provided various media outlets with a statement about a study saying that it's not possible to draw a conclusion on the accuracy of facial recognition for any use case, including law enforcement, based on results obtained using facial analysis, arguing the paper does not depict how a customer would use the technology. Many civil rights groups have been asking Amazon to stop selling the technology to law enforcement and government, a request that is likely to be iterated following the report. In May 2008, American Civil Liberties Union led an initiative to ask Amazon to stop selling its technology to law enforcement agencies. It read, Amazon also encourages the use of recognition to monitor people of interest, raising the possibility that those labeled suspicious by government, such as undocumented immigrants or black activists, will be targeted for recognition surveillance. So, what, you think that if the Weather Underground was around, that that dozen white kids wouldn't be targeted for surveillance today? I mean, they were literally blowing up buildings. Just a thought.
What Underground?
The Weather Underground. The group that, like, you remember they used to yell about Obama being friends with Bill Ayers? Bill Ayers was a member of a group called the Weather Underground, and they blew up a bunch of buildings, like recruiting centers and the Office of Prisons. They broke Timothy Leary out of prison.
Nice.
They're communists. They're crazy.
Yeah, but Timothy Leary's he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He may be a communist. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about his economic views.
Bernadette, whatever her name, and that cat, they were in a terrorist group in the 70s. But they attacked government.
Yeah, that's not terrorism. That's freedom fighting.
Buildings. They were communists. That's the funny thing, is like they're communists, and they're like big funders of Obama and everything now. And they're still communists, but like they didn't like the war, so their idea was bring the war home. So they were like blowing up recruiting centers.
I mean, wars is how you fund all your communist programs, though, which is what the left doesn't want to understand.
Yeah, you got to have booty, because you can't, if you tax the people to the point that they can pay for it all, then you end up with
Venezuela,
Russia.
I actually had a socialist the other day say the most honest thing about socialism that I've ever heard. And they said that the reason Venezuela collapsed was because of U.S. sanctions. I was like, okay, so you're admitting that socialism needs some sort of outside income in order to be sustained because it's inherently destructive of economic product.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then
Thank you.
Socialism is inferior.
So if you turn the world's economic superpower into a socialist state and no one is pouring money into it, what do you think will happen?
Magic.
Magic.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Monday, January 28th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,299. Silver opened at $15.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $3,424. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online, innoscale.net. In the news, the White House has not ruled out military intervention in Venezuela and has issued a strong warning to the country's president, saying that any violence against American diplomats or National Assembly President Juan Guaido would lead to significant response from the United States government. The warning was issued to President Nicolas Maduro on Sunday. Activist Post reports the warning follows a recent revelation that President Donald Trump has inquired about using military force against the country, saying that while the indications are that the immediate U.S. efforts on trying to impose regime change in Venezuela will be mostly economic, the publication cites a recent interview given to Axios by Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. In that interview, Graham, known for his hawkish views on U.S. military intervention, said President Trump is really hawkish on Venezuela and advised the president that such an attack could be problematic. The right-wing opposition leader that the United States is trying to undemocratically install as Venezuela's president immediately set his sights on the country's state-owned oil company, which he's hoping to restructure and move toward privatization. He's also seeking money from the notorious International Monetary Fund to fund his unelected government. The Free Thought Project reports that on January 23rd, U.S. President Donald Trump recognized the little-known U.S.-educated opposition politician Juan Guaido as the supposed interim president of Venezuela. Within 48 hours, Guaido quickly tried to seize control of Venezuela's major U.S.-based oil refiner and used its revenue to help bankroll his U.S.-backed coup regime. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Monday, January 28, 2019. Find us online at snls.news. Your news now continues. As the Yellow Vest protest in France continues to perplex and concern the French government and European elites, a new counter-protest has emerged in response to the popular protest movement now entering its 12th week. Mid-Press News reports that protesters branding themselves as the Red Scarfs descended on Paris on Sunday to protest the violence of some Yellow Vest protesters. The French government, which has sought to weaken and disperse the Yellow Vest movement, said that the Red Scarfs numbered around 10,500 in Paris, while other reports claim the demonstration was significantly smaller than the government's applied figure. As machine learning algorithms, big data methods, and artificial intelligence are increasingly used in the toolkit of U.S. law enforcement agencies, many are worrying that the existing biases of the criminal justice system are simply being automated and deepened. Activist Post reports that police departments are increasingly relying on predictive algorithms to figure out where to deploy their forces by blanketing cities with a mesh of human-based and computerized surveillance technology. That comes despite the flaw in such tools. Facial recognition software is often held a bias toward darker-skinned individuals, including mistaking members of Congress for criminal suspects. In essence, racial profiling has become automated, while allowing law enforcement agencies to claim that the computers are race-neutral tools. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details on how to raise your profile in partnership with the Liberty Beat. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting for this Monday, January 28, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's a landmark day in the March for Equality here in America. Congress passed the Casinos for Fairness Act today, which gives every mistreated group in America the right to open a casino.
It worked with Native Americans. It will work for the rest of the country. If our society has kept you down, you will get a casino to pull yourselves back up.
Veterans will also have the right to open a casino as a replacement for costlier benefit programs.
I think it'd be nice to have a casino. I mean, I'd rather still be able to walk, but, you know.
While the majority of the country is hailing the Casino Act as a step forward, many Native Americans are objecting to the law.
We are still the most disadvantaged group in America. So all that we ask is that we be allowed to open whorehouses and start legally selling cocaine.
The bill raised the question of whether immigrants should be allowed to own casinos. After much debate, the legislature decided that they would not, but they will be able to sell sliced mango on the street without a vendor license.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is hour 3 of this Monday afternoon broadcast, coming live at you from the Liberty Radio studios. We are, well, I've got a story if the internet would work with me. Maybe I can look it up on the computer here instead of on my phone. It would be a little bit better. I always find these really funny stories. Usually just because I have really, really fun friends on social media. So, oh yes, there it is. There it is. What, Aria? What happened now?
Just messaging a friend of mine.
Okay. So you've heard of Ebony Magazine, right? Everybody here's heard of Ebony Magazine?
Vaguely.
Okay. So transracial couple believe their baby will be born black. A white couple, in other words, believe that they will have a milk chocolate baby.
Is this the wife's way of letting her husband know that she cheated on him?
No. These are two white people.
That's what I'm going to assume until I hear otherwise.
These are two white people that have had things done to themselves to make them look more black, like they are black people, and they believe that their children will now be born
Are there
black.
pictures of these people?
Yes, there
I need
are.
to see them.
Yeah, Aria's like, I gotta see this.
That bitch is white.
Yes, she was white. She looks like she needs a manager. Does she not look like she needs to see a manager?
Not really.
She does.
I mean, he looks like that dude out of MASH who was racist, so they put blackface on him and told him, oh, well, we used a black man's blood on you, so now you're turning black, to mess with him, because that's what they did on MASH.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
that's what he looks like. But she just looks like a straight-up big black chick.
Don't cheat on your husband, but if you do anyway, either use birth control or cheat with somebody who looks vaguely like your husband. And then never do Ancestry.com or 23andMe or any of that.
At least make sure they're the same color.
Yeah. I mean, I know hospitals have security and stuff, so like you can't really do anything about it necessarily at the time.
Right.
But no, this is ridiculous.
Matrina, oh my Lord. Matrina Big and Michael
Wait, hold on. We have to back this bus up. What is the left's opinion on these two people? Like, seriously.
Well, they were mad at Rachel, what's her name?
Dolezal.
Who?
The girl
Rachel
who pretended to
Dolezal.
be black for like a long time. She just would get like super tanned. She pretended to be black and then she got busted.
It looks like she's probably going to go to prison for food stamp fraud. No joke.
No, I'm not going to make a joke. But I mean, can we find out what the left's opinion on these people are?
Well, I mean, this is Ebony Magazine. So, I mean, we're at least getting their opinion. They loved Obama. Says they're a white German couple who receive melanin injections and identify as black. They appeared on a British television show this morning to speak about being transracial, changing their skin color, and starting a family. Big, 30, garnered media attention in 2017 after she appeared on the daytime talk show Maury and revealed that she underwent a medical procedure to become
Which
black.
is where this story belongs.
According to her website, she traveled to Kenya in February of 2018 and was baptized as a true African woman by a clergyman.
You know what? I don't believe that Kenya does that. You made that up. You're relying on Kenya. That does not happen.
If Eddie Griffin can talk about ghetto pass cards, and I had...
Yeah, but if he says a specific person gave me one, and that is not true...
I had an official brother pass when I was like 25. And I lived in Florida, which basically meant that I could go into like 4 or 5 different neighborhoods and nobody really hassled me.
I had an N-word pass when I lived with some black people. I never said it.
Yeah. The hosts of The Morning asked the 30-year-old woman who had previously appeared on the show about what feelings led her to believe that she was black and not white. Big said that in 2017, she only felt 80% black.
What does that mean?
She revealed that the melanin injections helped her, not only physically by darkening her skin, eyes, and coiling her hair, but also psychologically.
I mean, it'll help you with sunburn, but that's about it.
I can clearly feel that I am black, she said. The injections only started the process, but being black is not only the color, it's everything in total. When I go outside now, I get in touch with dark people much easier. And when I compare to my African friends, I have more in common with them than I do with my German friends. Big began her melanin shots alone, but her husband soon began receiving them with her. The couple, dressed in
he had to be convinced.
dressed in African fabric, said that they received the same amount of treatments despite Irwin being lighter in complexion than his wife. The morning hosts later spoke to the newlyweds about their marriage and whether they plan to have children. You've been told by a doctor that your children will be black? The talk show host asked. We're not having plans, the model responded. I'm discussing regularly with my doctor if my body is okay, if having a baby is okay, if breastfeeding is okay. How will my baby look? After being asked if they will love the child who genetically will not and could not be black, Big responded, of course, it will be a mix of me and Michael. She added, but I'm pretty sure it will be black. But if it is milk chocolate or a little bit lighter, it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness, they have video of these people. That's funny.
I wish there was a God, because he would make that baby albino just to give them the finger. That's what I would do if I was God. Oh, okay. You think you're black? Here.
I mean, I would make them infertile if I was God, because there's going to be like, you have to meet like certain limits and a just system for you to be able to get a kid.
Check this out.
I mean, there's so many obvious parallels between trans racism and transsexualism.
No, you got to come see.
So I can't really call them insane or anything like that.
I don't think there's any parallels at all.
My eyebrow color has changed, and I can feel in myself that I'm changing to a black woman. I like the curves of black women, and I want to get them step by step.
Well, Martina is here now alongside her new husband, Michael. And good morning to both of you. Thank you for joining us here today. So, I mean, you look at the difference there. I mean, we have been following your story, and you were never comfortable with your natural appearance, the one you were born with.
I liked my natural blonde beauty, but also it's like tuning.
She looks like a white lady in blackface.
Get a new car. They start tuning, and then they say, "Oh, it's a nicer result. Let's find
she looks like a black chick
and then
to me.
it's go."
No, I'm sorry. I lived around black people for
Mississippi
a long
has
time.
the highest black population in the United States.
Yeah, I understand that. I
live with black people.
So did
she
I.
looks like a black chick.
No.
I mean, there's like more than one appearance of black people, so.
No, she looks, to me, when I look at her, I see a German girl in blackface.
I don't think anybody would think anything about it if she went out into the streets. I don't think anybody would notice anything.
As soon as she opens her mouth, everybody notices something. You're like, wait a second.
That's a pain I know all too well.
We'll be right back.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you to go this way?
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey.
Who do you think you are?
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this hospital.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Wind, water, go planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Liberty Radio Studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And who would have thought that filling up a media magazine with whiny SJWs that in no way, and then bragging. That was my favorite part about the tweet, was that she basically was like, what we're doing is we want to have four times the Asian female representation as what there is in the country, and we want double the females in general and no white people. Well, gay white people, trans white people, Jewish people, but not the people who make up the majority. And then, less than a year later, she's like, oh my God, they laid everybody off and we've all been fired. We all lost our jobs. What is going on here?
I don't know who you're talking about.
It's this.
That's BuzzFeed, right?
No. That was HuffPo. BuzzFeed got the axe too, though.
Huffington Post got the axe.
Well, Huffington Post's entire opinion section got the axe. So, yeah. They laid off 20 employees.
The favorite remark I've ever heard about Ariana Huffington was Brian Griffin on Family Guy saying that she talked like she had a mouthful of sugar or something like that. Because she does. You can't understand anything she says.
Layoffs hit the Huffington Post after $4.6 billion Verizon media write-down.
Well, another issue is that you don't need an opinion section anymore because the news has become the opinion section.
You ain't kidding there.
So you don't need a dedicated section for people to be told how to think when you have the news there to do that for you.
Yep. Huffington Post laid off about 20 employees around the U.S. on Thursday, one day after its parent company, Verizon, announced it would cut 7% of its workforce. 750 Verizon employees are expected to lose their jobs. That announcement came more than a month after Verizon took a $4.6 billion write-down on Huffington Post's parent company, Oath, now called Verizon Media, which includes AOL, Yahoo, and HuffPo. HuffPost unionized with the Writers Guild of America, East, in 2017.
Yahoo is still a thing?
Right. A spokesman for the union said at least 15 members lost their jobs. 2 full teams, the opinion and health sections, were eliminated. Pulitzer Prize finalist.
So the people eating kale and pumpkin spice lattes don't want to read a health section either?
It happened. I've been laid off. It's a tough day at HuffPost. We're losing some talented, beloved colleagues, HuffPost editor-in-chief Lydia Polgreen said Thursday. Deeply committed to quality journalism that reflects what matters most to our diverse audiences across the globe.
Okay, time out. You cannot call people who write an opinion section journalists. You can call them bloggers, opinionators, but there used to be a term for them. I can't think of it right now, but I mean, the newspapers used to have a dedicated term for these people.
Yeah, it's the opinion section.
Yeah, but I mean, the type of writer itself had a term. And I can't think of it. But they didn't used to be considered journalists at any rate. And I mean, most of these people have no idea what journalism actually is, or quality writing or editing or any of these things that, a decent writer needs to be able to do.
Polemic?
Well, for some people.
Yeah.
I try to avoid it in my writing, but not all do. I mean, it depends on what works and what doesn't work for the voice in question, but it's certainly not journalism to spend 800 words telling people why white people are the devil. That's not journalism. That's livejournal.com.
It totally is.
Yeah. I'm happy you were able to temporarily get paid for that, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, like you can get paid for writing that's not journalism. That's not a problem, but it's not journalism, it's writing.
Yeah, if we want to know what went wrong with journalism, I mean, that's a great place to start, is that opinion sections are now considered journalism. What happened to the industry? I don't know. Might it be that we let these people spout off with their diarrhea of the mouth and take them seriously and pay them to do it? Said on a radio show where we spout off diarrhea at the mouth.
But we don't pretend to be the news. Like, I will never tell you that I'm the news.
Nor that we're fair and balanced.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely biased. I will list to you all the ways that I am biased.
It says here that Huffington Post lost 9.5% of its total staff. Yahoo News, 10% of their staff. The company has cut other costs. Polgreen said that in the meeting, including shuttering its German edition, Huffington Post Deutschland, which will close operations March 31st. HuffPost's union contract included language ensuring editorial independence. Editorials. That's opinion section.
It's still not the word I was looking for the type of writer, though.
Including enhancing newsroom diversity. And it had specific provisions for severance in the case of layoffs. A number of good people lost their jobs as a part of company-wide layoffs, despite Verizon taking in nearly $4 billion in government-funded tax breaks last year and a promise that workers would share the company's success, WGAE said in a statement. This is one of the many reasons why staffs working in the media industry continue to join together and fight for workplace protections that include collectively bargained severance packages and fair layoff notifications. These giant platforms, they broke our industry. This is an existential challenge for every single publisher, says Huffington Post editor-in-chief Lydia Polgreen. Every cut in the tight-knit HuffPost newsroom represented a huge loss for the industry, said Christopher Mathias, a HuffPost reporter and union member. Today's a big blow for our newsroom and to the world of journalism. The reporters and editors who were laid off today don't deserve this. It's so sad and infuriating. Reporters. These are some of the most passionate, dedicated people I know. Their work has made real impact on people's lives.
Right, but what does that have to do with whether or not your position is profitable?
They'll be sorely, sorely missed. No one does this job to get rich, he added. Big tech CEOs do their jobs to get rich.
What?
Jesus, so he can't even get fired without virtue signaling to the left.
At least one person was laid off from HuffPost Canada Thursday, according to a source from the newsroom. It wasn't immediately clear how many people from each Verizon Media-owned brands would be affected. But, I don't know, it's pretty amusing so far. We'll continue on with what happens when you stack a newsroom full of opinionated SJWs and call it news when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We've been talking about, how not to run a media website and be successful, it turns out. Because it was like within a year of them building this, like, we're going to just completely SJW out and it's going to be the most amazing thing. Oh, it's gone. We've all been fired.
I mean, it's not surprising.
It's not surprising to me at all. It is to them. They're all like, I'm in shock. This is not how I wanted a 35-year journalism career to end.
Why are you ending your 35-year journalism career at the Huffington Post?
Right?
Well, I mean, even
if they didn't fire you.
She's got to be around 60 years old now. So, I mean, it's about retirement age. Maybe she actually has enough put back to just retire now. That's what I would do. I mean, I would.
You would have saved money in the first place, though.
I assume she did.
These are socialists.
Yeah, these are leftists.
They're leveraged up to their eyeballs.
Maybe.
Let's see here. In the wake of the write-downs in December, some news outlets reported Verizon planned to cut 10% of Oath staff. That's more than 1,000 jobs. Rumors in the Huffington Post newsroom of layoffs since then. Today marks a strategic step toward better execution of our plans for growth and innovation into the future, said a Verizon media spokeswoman on Wednesday. Their goal is to create the best experience for our customers and the best platforms for our customers. This is the second swath of major layoffs for Huffington Post's parent company. These giant platforms, they broke our industry, says Paul Green, and that all hands meeting refer to the platforms such as Facebook and Google. This is an existential challenge for every single publisher. The news comes as huge cuts continue to hit organizations everywhere in the digital media sphere. BuzzFeed CEO Jonah Peretti announced Wednesday that the parent company would lay off 15% of its workforce, about 250 people. Gannett, which owns USA Today and several other newspapers, also cut jobs in newsrooms across the U.S. on Wednesday. Mike.com laid off the majority of its employees in November. Good. In October, Refinery 29 announced a cut of 40 employees, while Super Deluxe announced that it would shut down. Adweek called 2018 digital media's great upheaval. Alexander Kaufman, a HuffPost reporter and union rep, noted that layoffs at multiple news organizations means there's fewer people to investigate the most powerful people in the U.S.
Yeah, because that's what Huffington Post was doing, okay?
That's definitely what their opinions and health sections were doing, right?
Oh, yeah, health sections always investigate, like, the White House, the Federal Reserve, and Congress. That's their function, obviously.
Right. I want to find the tweet, though. Where's the HuffPost layout?
So, a group of people who were hired to be crybaby SJWs are now being crybaby SJWs.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really big PR risk, because HR, because if that's the type of people they are, they're going to sue you when you fire them.
March 14th of last year. Our goal for this month was less than 50% white authors. Check. Asian representation that matches or exceeds the U.S. population. Check. More trans and non-binary authors. Check.
The way she wrote that, it sounds like she wants to hire every single Asian in America.
Month 2 of HuffPost Opinion is almost done. This month, we published 63% women, including trans women, and 53% of our writers are writers of color.
Yeah, because that's what determines a quality writer, is their skin color, their gender identity, their sex, their orientation. Those are all things you want to look for when you're hiring someone to do a job. You don't want to look for their ability to do the job.
Well, no, of course not. That would be meritocracy, and meritocracy is oppression.
What amazes me, though, is that people genuinely think that. I mean, they genuinely think that it's better to look for someone's skin color. And I don't know how the message of the 1950s and early 1960s got inverted to this degree. But I don't remember Martin Luther King ever advocating, oh yeah, you need to hire this dude, he's black. No, he would have said, hire someone if they're qualified for the job. Their skin color should not be a factor, because that was what he literally argued. And the same is true of gender and sex and orientation and all of these other things. Are they good writers? Can they make their points neatly and succinctly? That's what matters here.
Yeah, but they're SJWs who want to whine and cry and yell and flip out.
So give them a YouTube channel, because that's what they're good at. They're good at whining and crying, and there's certainly a segment of the population that wants to watch that and probably beat off to it.
The left is also really bad at distinguishing the difference between a job and a hobby. So, there are things that are really good hobbies, like maybe writing your opinion on something once a week and publishing it, but that's not really a job. So, not being able to get paid.
Well, it can be if you're a good enough writer.
Once a week, probably not.
I got paid to put my opinion out there once a week.
Yeah, but like a full-time wage?
I got paid more for the article than one would expect.
Okay, I just don't see like your average writer getting a full-time salary for publishing an article-sized publication once a week.
Well, I would certainly agree, but that's because the average writer really isn't very good.
Right, yeah, so there are probably people out there who could put out something once a week and make enough to live off of. But I think that a large part of this is, because these people aren't working around the clock doing investigative stories, putting in full-time work, and then writing, 7 times a week. So I think a lot of this is just like a failure to distinguish, is this a job or is this a hobby? And then a business trying to pay people to do a hobby and then looking at their reports and saying, oh, we're losing money. I need to stop paying people to do a hobby, or at least stop paying them a full-time salary.
That's certainly something they could have done instead of just downsizing these people who write the opinion sections. Like, okay, well, we're going to keep the opinion section open, but we can't pay you to keep spouting off like this.
Yeah.
So you can still write for us, but we're not going to pay you.
Or we're not going to pay you. I don't know what they're going to pay, but we're not going to pay you $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year.
Well, that's not uncommon in the writing world either. That's how most writers get their feet in the door somewhere, is by writing for free for some website. And it kind of spirals from there. Ideally, you start out doing, not ideally you would start out being paid, but realistically, you start out doing it for free as a hobby. And you get picked up by some newspaper or some website or something like that who likes your content but can't afford to pay you because they're just one step up above you.
Yeah.
And then you get in there and you just kind of keep climbing up the ladder. That's normally how it works. So I think these people, Huffington Post made a bad business decision and thought that they had more money to play with than they actually had. And as a result, they're like, okay, we tried to bring all of these people up to the next rung of the ladder, but we actually can't afford to pay any of them. That's what it seems like to me. But we'll be back with more of this discussion here on LRN.FM, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
I just got off the phone with New York. We are the #1 network in the world. And it is an honor to stand before you at such an exciting time. We're stretching boundaries that will irreparably alter people's perception of what they are willing to watch. And our next season will offer tantalizing programming that plays seamlessly into the desire of our viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you just a taste of what ODS has to offer.
You know the rules. Grow a pumpkin or go home. Here's the twist. Only one of you has the real pumpkin seeds.
Are you a pumpkin or not?
You call yourselves pumpkin growers?
I know I didn't get the pumpkin seeds. I dug in there. They're bean sprouts.
Starting a pumpkin alliance. Anyone grows a pumpkin, we split the money.
Get out of my patch.
This is the Onion News Network.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm पे।
Welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.fm. It is time for the cannabis segment. And we've actually got a really interesting article pulled up. I hate that Will had to step out for a minute because I think it's a topic that he would really like to get into. Coming to us from Leafly.com, they ask the question, is consuming cannabis a sin, haram, or not kosher? For many, it's a serious question. In the Judaic tradition, scholars still debate the question of whether God meant Moses to use cannabis as part of an anointing oil when he spoke of a plant called cannabisum in Exodus 30:22 through 30. I've never heard any scholar debate that, but you know, that's just me.
I've never looked for it either. I think we might be the two least qualified hosts of all the shows to
am
discuss
extremely
this.
Versed in Christianity. I was steeped in it from the time I was a child. So, I mean, you're certainly right. We're not qualified. Because
we're going to do it anyway.
We're the atheists in the room. But we're going to do it anyway. Yes, exactly. In the more conservative Christian traditions, cannabis has often been denounced as a sinful indulgence or tool of the devil, which is something I've actually talked with Tom Gray, who is going to be returning to the show relatively soon, but only doing Fridays, about whether or not, there is a conflict between the whole conservative Christian belief that cannabis is a sin and the idea that, God created everything, so God obviously created cannabis. And trying to outlaw it.
I've heard some really weird explanations of that, though. So, like, God created all the fruits and vegetables and trees and stuff, but then the devil created, like, opium and weed. I'm not saying, I don't know how mainstream of a belief that is, but I have heard explanations of that. I've also heard people say that, well, yeah, maybe God created this plant. That doesn't mean you're supposed to smoke it, which is fair enough. Like, okay, so there's a maple tree right there. That doesn't mean I should smoke it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what the plant does. It's kind of like the whole gay sex thing. So if God didn't want dudes having sex, he wouldn't have made it so that the penis fit in the rectum. He didn't have to do that. Just like the pot plant. If God didn't want us to smoke it, he didn't have to make it get us high. He chose to.
Now, just to since I'm Muslim and I always have to point out how we're usually right on these things. I've got
are we, but for different reasons.
This is the chairman of the North American Fiqh Council. So this is like his job is to look at what's going on this side of the globe and interpret and understand and make legal rulings based on Islam so that Muslims in this side of the globe understand how to practice our religion properly in the culture that we live in. And he makes it pretty clear about medical cannabis.
Expression of rahmah. You know the case of this person in I don't know what state, at least as the reports tell us, who had problems with his eyesight, very serious problem. And the only thing that truly helps him, in accordance to his statements and the statements of some doctor, is that to smoke marijuana. The law here is no way. He will go to jail. And they are working on amending such things. But in this shara, because it was not human made and it is not harfi, under that circumstance, there is no doubt in our shara that it is halal.
So there's no doubt that in Sharia, medical cannabis
for medical.
Totally, yeah.
I don't think most people are worried
totally
about medical.
Well, actually, I know a lot of pastors that will tell you that medical cannabis is just an excuse for people to get stoned. I know imams that will tell you that. When I tried to do
that's generally my take on it, is that it is that.
Well, but that just because most people are saying that doesn't mean that there's not people who are legitimately using it for medical. So, I think it's pretty easy to say, okay, it is not wrong to use a medicine if you need that medicine. That's a different question than, hey, can I go get messed up? Those are two very different questions.
But what I'm seeing, I had some people that came to me in 2013, and they were like, you know what, brother, you're the only Muslim speaker who isn't I got that whole IDGAF thing going on, I just don't. And so I will talk about things nobody else is willing to talk about. And they were like, look, I smoke marijuana for this issue and it's Ramadan and I don't know if I can, can I medicate in the mornings? Can I not medicate at all month? What can I and the imams don't want to talk about this stuff. They just don't want to. So I start interviewing, and what I found was this was the only piece where anyone was willing to put their name on it. First of all, was this guy, and he's the chairman of the North American Fiqh Council. So I mean, it's a pretty high up position as far as credibility is concerned. But none of the other known named scholars of our day, people that I won't name them, but they're known. None of them would allow me to quote them. I could say what they said, but I could not attribute it to them.
Yeah.
And the others that I spoke to were just like, no, absolutely not. No, it's criminal. It's sinful. It's this, it's that. You just pray, and it will be okay. And I'm like, okay, I need a real answer. That's not a real answer.
I said, we're also right, but for different reasons.
Yeah. When you go to the evangelicals, they do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
No. You can take a hydrocodone.
You can
don't do CBD.
Opiates.
Yeah, but don't take CBD. But don't
you dare smoke a joint or even CBD, which will not even get you high.
Yeah.
Well, it's because for the religious conservative, the difference between the state and their religion no longer exists.
Yeah.
Well, if the state says that something is good, such as with opiates, or bad, such as with cannabis, that's what their religion says.
Well, you also have the average evangelical imagines a person who smokes marijuana, and what they see in their mind is like a heroin addict.
I've also heard them make non-criminal statements like, well, it's a sin because it's a sin to break the law. But if it wasn't illegal, then we'd have to figure out if, it was medical or if you were using it in excess or if,
Exactly. Yeah. And, or, a good part of the charismatic community is really racist. I mean, let's just be honest. They do not believe in race. I've heard dozens of sermons in charismatic churches across the country about why race mixing is a sin.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You know, smoking cannabis makes you want to chase down and go fornicate with the Mexicans.
You know, I've smoked some weed before, and I have never had that experience.
I've got nothing.
I have never had smoking weed make me want to go find
Aria's
someone.
only laughing because she knows I'm right.
He's absolutely right.
No, but I've heard that. Yeah, actually.
And the way he said it was exactly how they would have said it. They're not Mexicans. They're exactly as he said it. Mexicans.
Yeah.
If you read some of the original legislative history from when it was originally criminalized, it says stuff like that.
Well, I mean, what was the guy from the Reagan administration? What was it he said? Well, you know, we couldn't say we wanted to criminalize being black and being anti-war, so we just outlawed weed instead.
Which is, I mean, really kind of good props to weed, more than it really deserves. Like, well, if you smoke weed, you must be anti-war. I don't know if that's true.
Not anymore.
But
not anymore. We didn't want to make it, we couldn't say that it was illegal to not be white or to be anti-war. So we just outlawed weed, and that took care of all of it for us. Basically, was his argument, which is tantamount to admitting, yeah, these rules are racist. They're there to target people who don't listen to government and who look different than we do. I mean, that's a fairly insane thing to admit, though.
Well, the government is nothing if not insane. So
that is the basis of government to begin with. The insane idea that.
But when you have to
have a
virtue
right to use
signal
violence.
really strongly to people, and you can't explain to them why you're really doing what you're doing, then that's a perfectly valid way to go about it. It's just outlaw weed instead of admitting the truth.
Why not? Laws always help. We're always just
I mean, it helps the oil companies and the bankers.
One more law away from utopia. It's always the case, man. Just one more, and we'll finally get there. If you want more Great Talk Radio, don't go anywhere right now, guys. We may be gone, but we got Free Talk Live coming up next.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Monday, January 28th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,299. Silver opened at $15.65. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,424. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online, innoscale.net. In the news, the White House has not ruled out military intervention in Venezuela and has issued a strong warning to the country's president, saying that any violence against American diplomats or National Assembly President Juan Guaido would lead to significant response from the United States government. The warning